What is going on? I am Johnny Von Duke and you are watching Disney Channel. Why the fuck do I keep doing this intro? What is going on, everybody? Johnny Von Duke here, and I apologize for the fact today, as you can tell by the title, that I am a 22-year-old man talking about Power Rangers, but I feel like that it's been a little bit of time. We can actually properly cover this. We all know Jason David Frank, the actor of the Green Ranger, White Tiger Ranger, Zeo Red, I almost said Mighty Morphin. Zeo Red, Red Turbo Ranger. He played Lord Draken. Well, technically, that's more so comic book. Dino Thunder Black, the Brachiosaurus Ranger, for those few people. Yeah, I love Dino Thunder too, but it didn't pop off as much as it could have. But regardless, Jason David Frank has played a lot of different Rangers as the role of Tommy Oliver. He is one of the few people who carried on really throughout the whole series. Debatably, he came in and out at different points, but really he was there throughout the whole series, and he unfortunately passed away a little bit ago. We're not going to talk about the circumstances here. This is YouTube. If you want to look that up yourself. If you want to know how I passed, just do that yourself. We're not doing that on YouTube right now. YouTube hasn't been friendly, so we have to keep it on the low key, unfortunately. I wish I could just come out and say it and talk about it, but with how YouTube has been block happy with videos, I'm not willing to take that risk right now. But I feel like we should talk about this simply because of the fact that there is a special coming up, Once and Always, I believe it's called. It's an upcoming web television special, and it's serving to commemorate the 30th anniversary of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, I do get it, but the big thing here is I gotta move my Von fucking camera. But as you'll notice, yeah, the Green Ranger is there. We got a lot of the original actors back, as you can tell by the various imagery to the side, which is cool. I don't mind the fact that we're getting a lot of the original cast back, but I moved my camera to the wrong way too far again. Oh well. But as you can tell, the Green Ranger is here, despite Jason David Frank no longer being with us. Now, I do get it, stunt double, or they probably have just a different Power Ranger in the suit, one of the other older actors, or maybe a younger actor, you know, just playing the role who has experience doing martial arts and stuff like that. But overall, I don't really know how I feel on this. Now, real quick, I do want to say I'm not going to bash any fans who are for this, simply because there are a lot of people who would much rather see carry on of the Green Ranger, White Tiger Ranger, Dino Thunder Black, etc. And it's understandable. You want to see your Rangers represented, even if the original actors aren't around anymore. So I'm not going to really bash any old fans or newer fans who like this. I really ain't, because hey, if you want to see the Ranger being played in modern day, this is really how it's going to be done. Either via stunt double, CGI, or a younger / older actor who's been on Power Rangers at some point to do some basic martial arts. It's not really that shocking, and I'm not going to bash anyone who's for this. Man. One thing I do want to say, though, is the reason I feel shaky on it is simply because, you know, it hasn't really been that long since the last time the Green Ranger or Tommy Oliver has shown up in the series. The last time I believe it happened was at the end of Dino Charge, or maybe it was Ninja Steel, I believe it was called. I can't quite remember. But point is, Tommy Oliver was back not that long ago. I feel like I get it. It was pre-planned. They probably had plans for JDF to be there, but obviously he passed, so he can't be there. But I really don't know how I feel on this. Like, if I were to give my personal opinion on what were to happen with all of his roles, minus 2 roles he played specifically, and that would be Red Turbo Ranger, because later on in the series another actor would come on and become the main Red Turbo Ranger. So I don't feel like anything should happen to that, because that would be unfair to the other actor who would come on and then do his role as the Red Turbo Ranger. I feel like that could be left alone, simply because it's a dual role anyway. There wasn't one Red Turbo Ranger, so I feel like that's fine. And Lord Draken as well, I feel like could be left alone, simply because that is more comic book, that is more fan media, so to speak, as opposed to mainline canon media. So I feel like that could be left alone as well, simply because Jason David Frank never came on to set to put on a costume anyway. He did one promo shot, one promo video for Shattered Grid, and that's about it. So I feel like that could be fine well. And I do know a little bit before he passed, he did a little spin-off fan movie as a different Ranger. I think it's called The White Dragon. I feel like that could also be left alone, simply because that's a fan film to begin with. It's not mainline canon. Nobody has solid memories with this, although I will bring it up just so people aren't like, where's White Dragon Ranger? Well, it's not canon. But besides those 3 examples, Zeo Red, MMPR White, MMPR Green, Dino Thunder Black, I really do feel like all those roles should be retired. If I were to give my personal opinion on what were to happen to the items, I have like 3 outcomes personally. The other 2 outcomes are basically the same, but the first one basically is, Hasbro, Bandai, all those different people, Saban, people who have had various contracts, relations with Jason David Frank, they share, they split the items, they keep them properly archived and preserved, and they just keep them private for the sake of making sure nothing happens to them. Obviously, do displays every once in a while so it's remembered. That's the first outcome I see. The other 2 outcomes I see are basically the same. Pretty similar to the Bandai, Hasbro, all that shit stuff. But I feel like the second and third option is either his family or a museum should get all of the items that not belonged, but obviously represented the roles he played. All the different artifacts, tools, props, suits, helmets, different various pieces that never made it onto camera, stuff like that. The models for the Zords. I feel like that stuff should be going to his family or a museum for the sake of preservation, archiving, and public display, so this man is properly remembered for the roles he did play. Of course, Jason David Frank did do more than Power Rangers, but Power Rangers is his most notable thing. But overall, I just feel a little twisted on this, because I'm glad they're trying to carry on the memory of the Green Ranger, of Jason David Frank. But the large problem is, I really feel, is it's from now on just going to be the Green Ranger. It's never going to be, oh, there's Tommy. You aren't going to have fans anymore saying, oh, it was cool seeing Jason David Frank, because it's no longer him. It's just unfortunate that he did pass with all of this being planned out. I'm pretty sure he had other stuff in the works too for Power Rangers, but it just didn't come around. I know people throughout all of this are like, why do you care so much about a kid's show? Well, you gotta understand this is a kid's show stretching all the way back to the 90s. It's officially not a kid's show anymore. I feel like even with something as childish as, say, like Thomas the Tank Engine, for example, you gotta realize how far back that show stretches. Like, that show has some old roots to it, buddy. The various fan bases of the different generations of, say, for example, Thomas, they've grown up, but they still probably have fond memories. So when you have shows like this that have carried on for so long, the various different fan bases through various generations are grown up, you gotta realize I'm like the second generation Power Rangers has grown up, basically. You have the millennials, you got Gen Z, and if you look at Super Sentai, they were reaching into the generations before that a tiny bit. So Super Sentai / Power Rangers has been around forever, and it's raised countless well, not countless, but various generations by this point. So, you know, they're kind of at the realm of it's a kid's show, but it's not a kid's show. You know, there's so many legacy fans that you need to appease with this stuff, it's not even funny. And while, yeah, Power Rangers will always be campy, always be for kids or younger teens, reality is what I've just said. You know, I'm Gen Z. I am like the third generation watching Super Sentai / Power Rangers, so for me at least, this is a semi-relevant topic that I do feel like should be talked about, especially considering there are various other actors of Power Rangers who have passed on, who have had that role to themselves, but those roles aren't properly retired, like I've brought up with Jason David Frank, which it should be. And those other roles, in my mind, should be retired in some way, shape, or form. But anyway, guys, I have been Johnny Von Duke, and it is time to take it away, other me. Oh yeah. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. It's pretty much a nothing burger, but if you've been watching my channel for all 8 years that's existed, you should know that's kind of what we do here. Anyway, if you somehow found yourself enjoying it, click over here to watch another video, click over here to watch another degenerate video, click here to subscribe to my channel, then click down there for, well, whatever lazy lack of originality content I put there. Anyway, get the fuck out of here, you filthy animal. Goodbye.